Hello, I'm Janna, and welcome back to the Crafty Corner. Today, we're going to be having some fun altering a Grungeboard ideology album. I am so lucky to have found this on eBay, and today we're going to start part 1 of its alterations. If you'd like to see exactly which supplies we're going to be using, go ahead and pause here. All right, let's head over to the Crafty Corner. Today, we're going to be having a good play with backdrops and a eBay find that I am very excited about. So, Grungeboard, one of the holy grails in the distress world. Now, this is a grunge book. And, of course, we're going to turn this into something Christmas themed. And to do that, we'll need lots of backdrops and plenty of collage medium. So I'm going to be pulling out a good stash of holiday backgrounds, new and old. As you can see, got just a few. And we will see what we can do to alter this book and make it holiday and festive. Then we'll have lots of fun altering items to put in this. I'm kind of thinking this is going to be a 2-part set. First part, we're going to alter and decorate the outside and the back cover, and then we'll have another video where we have lots of fun decorating the interior. So let's open this up and just take a quick look at the packaging. So this is Grunge book, 6x6 bracket. 6 Grungeboard pages with thick Grungeboard covers. Grunge book. A number of plain Grungeboard sheets fastened together within a thicker Grungeboard covers, used for paper crafting, journaling, or memory keeping. So, super excited to find it. It was a really good score. Got it for $11. These have been discontinued for ages, and this, believe it or not, is dating back to 2008. So, a very lucky find. You know what? I think I'm actually going to keep that tag and put it someplace in our project, because that is practically vintage. Okay, so I've got some rings. We're going to set those aside for the time being. And, oh my word, I wish we had smell-o-vision because this has such a unique scent. It's like cardboard crossed with patent leather. It's just got a very distinctive smell to it. Alright, so I'm just punching out the little holes. That's going to make things just a little bit easier when we go to put things together. Oh, these pages they're so soft. That is amazing. That's going to be so much fun. Okay. So we're just going to take these, take the little holes out, and then we're going to cover them with papers. So we're going to have to make some decisions and figure out which papers we're going to want for each page. I also want to ink the edges of these, and we're going to do that with some vintage photo. Okay, there we go. That's almost all of those little holes removed. So I think we'll start with that. We'll start with inking the edges with some vintage photo and go from there. So let's ink one of the pages together, and then we'll put the rest on fast forward as we do the rest. So I'm pulling in a dome foam and, of course, my vintage photo distress ink. And we're just going to start at the edge. Oh, I forgot how well the Grungeboard just absorbs ink. We're going to work our way all the way around. I don't know what it is about this particular substrate, but it just devours ink and makes things magical. This stuff is just so cool. I have no idea what the formula is. I wish there was more of it, but right now the only source of this stuff seems to be on eBay. But one can dream. Maybe one day Idea-ology will bring this amazing substrate back. Okay. So pretty good. I do want to flip it over and do the same thing to the other side. Need a little bit more ink. The edges are just eating it right up. That is just going to look so good once we have everything in place. It's just absolutely fascinating how different substrates react to different mediums. Okay, almost back to the beginning. Just a little bit more, and there we go. All right, let's put the rest of this on fast forward as we finish inking all of our edges. Now that our edges are all inked, it's time to choose some papers. So I'm going to be choosing 6 older ones and 6 new ones. And most importantly, I need the cover to match. So I'm going to quickly go through this and just try to, ooh, I really like that one. That's a definite yes for something. But I'm not quite sure what I want for the cover just yet. Definitely not that. You know what? I think I know what I want for the cover. For the cover, I really want something from the new pack. And there's a plaid here that looks perfect. Okay. This will be for the cover and the back. So that's going to be 1, 2. Now, that'll just definitely be something. I don't know what the order will be yet, but I absolutely need to pick stuff that will be good. And this is going to be the easiest way for me to keep track of what I've picked and what I'm not going to go with. Yes, that's a definite yes. Oh, like that. That is a yes. Ooh, definitely some of that. Definitely some of that. There are just so many good pieces in here. Absolutely have to do that one. I do want some print ideas. Ooh, that would be great. This one. Definitely this one. Ooh, we're zipping right along. This is good. Ooh, that's really good, but so is that classic plaid. Okay. Great. Now I just need 2 more and I will have what I need. So many choices. I love having choices. Choices are good. That one's great. Now I just need 1 more. These are good. Oh man, now I've got a problem. I've got things that are really, really good on both sides. Alright, let's save one of the plaids. And this one's going to count for 2. Okay. So, I now know what I'm doing. I now want to check something. I'm hoping... Oh, that's a little problematic. Let's see. Okay. So I need another matching piece for my cover. Let's see. Do I have another plaid like that? I do. Okay. Well, yeah. this will work, I think. Yeah, we'll make this work. All right, so the next thing I want to do is to cut all of these pieces down to 6 inches. I'm going to take, I think, 2 at a time, and we'll start cutting them down to size, and then we can see about gluing things in. So I've got my media mat in front of me. I'm just going to grab a pencil, and we'll measure exactly 6 inches and a quarter just to give us a little bit of extra room. And that leaves me 1, 2, 3. Ooh. That leaves me a little short, but you know what? I can die cut stuff out of these pieces. That's fine. Okay. So I'll cut these 2 at a time. And I'm going to set aside the cover pieces. The rest of the pieces will go in another pile. Then I'll have a little stack of scraps. Okay. I'm just going to try to keep these flipped in the direction that I want to grab pieces from. Okay. In some cases it doesn't matter, and in other cases it will. So let's just carefully move things around so that we'll get the best results. And for the trimmer, I'm using the Tiny Tonic trimmer. Great size for tabletop crafting. Okay. Taking that, measuring it out, 6 1/4, just to be safe. So I shouldn't have too many more of these to do. Stacking them up does seem to work pretty well. Oh, you know what? Those smaller pieces will be great because I can use those in smaller cards. There we go. All right, this go on this side. And measuring again. And then we get to start gluing. Okay, and next. Well, so far so good. Just slicing right through these. Alright, and we're down to the last couple of sets, which is good news. Alright, does this matter? No, it does not. Okay, and measuring this out again. Oh, there are just so many good papers. And this is a great way to use up all of those backdrops. Honestly, I do stash mine for more than a year. The thing is, I love making my own backdrops with distress sprays and distress ink, so I always forget about the really cool pre-made backdrops until I'm on a time crunch and need something pre-constructed for a card. So the backdrops do seem to pile up on me, but not a problem. because we now have a project to use them on. Okay, and one more. The last one. Good. Okay, so let's start with the covers, and then we can worry about the interior. So what we're going to do is first tidy up our stack of cut pieces. We're going to take some collage medium and we're going to spread that all over our surface. I'll have to punch holes back in later, but that's okay. I just want to get these glued down nice and smooth. So we're just going to go right over the top of those holes for the time being. Okay, plenty of collage medium. If we get glue ooze, not a big deal. The main thing is that we want to have plenty of glue all over our surface. And now, just place our piece down. There we go. I'm just going to flip that over. Press, just making sure that everything is going to stick down nicely. Okay. So that is what we're going to do. Now let's go ahead and kick things on fast forward as we work through the rest of the book. Okay, let's take a look at all of our pages for the grunge book. We have everything finally glued and we just need to do a little bit of trimming. So let's pull this in. Now I think we'll just go through trimming the cover just so I can explain how it's done and then we'll manipulate time. Okay, so I'm just taking my tonic snips and I'm cutting at an angle and just moving around the edge of the Grungeboard cover and just cutting as close as I can because we don't want any of that paper to be hanging off. But the main thing is I'm just keeping this at an angle. Okay, working my way around. There we go. So just a little bit more and the cover piece will be all set. And then we'll have to poke the holes back in so we can hold our grunge board together with the rings. Now this definitely did take some time because the glue takes a while to dry and we ended up adding paper to both front and back of every grunge board piece. So that took maybe around 2 hours real time in order to get everything glued and then trimmed. But I can tell you it's going to be worth it because now we're going to have a great surface to play on. Okay, so those are the scraps. I'm going to grab my die pick and just put a hole through this. And we're going to open that back up so I can put rings through. Okay, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. Just taking the die tool, poking it through and then kind of going in a circular motion, trying to get those little paper bits to stay out of the way. Okay. There we go. We've got our cover. We're all set. All right. Be back in just a moment. I'm going to quickly trim the rest of my covers and then we can assemble the album. Okay, now all of our album pages are done. So it is time to put everything together and see what we get. So we're going to need the large rings that came with the album. And we're going to want to place them on here. So just sticking these on here one at a time. And soon we'll have our entire album book all together. Now I'm just going to turn this around and make sure that I have all my pages going in the right direction. And then we'll add the other set. Okay. Yep, that is good. There's just one set of pages I wasn't quite sure about. Now let's grab that other ring and add them to the loop. There we go. Pretty easy. I am loving this. This is going to make such a fun book to work out of this season. And I've got so many things I want to do. Okay. And closing that up. There we go. We now have our album book all ready to make out of. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is work on the cover and the back. And then that will bring us to the conclusion of this video. And this is only part one of the Grungeboard album. Now, let's put together a collage for the front. I wanted to start with this really cool picture frame. And I was thinking this angel is absolutely adorable and would be great as our main focal point. So we're going to need some collage medium and we're going to put everything together. So to start, let's take the frame and I'm just going to run some glue all the way around. And we can take that angel and stick her in here. There we go. All right, and now I can take the rest of this and glue it down. So we're just going to get a bit more glue. Spread that around and stick this down in the center. That looks good. Now I'm thinking I want to add something along the base to cover up that little extra line. I've got this great strip of peppermint candy. I can put that there. Okay. And now we're just going to build around and see what we get. I've got these great little boughs of holly. Love that. And I've got another one to mirror it on the other side. So just a bit of glue, not a lot. Just enough to keep things stuck down. Okay. Oh, I like that piece. That could go right in the center. There we go. And I kept this little piece from the packaging, the definition of ideology. That seemed like a fun element we could add. Put that right here. And let's put this long piece on the other side with the poinsettias. Take that over here. Great. And I've got this little piece. I like the bells on it. And I've also got this ticket. I love the tickets. Okay, this is looking good. And I've also got this banner I want to add. There we go. And I think I want to tuck this poinsettia in to finish off our layers. All right. I like that a lot. Now, the one thing that I do want to do before we turn to the back, I want to cover this with some shine and sparkle. And I'm thinking that the sparkle paste would be a good addition. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take a dash of this on our finger, and we're going to smooth this as carefully as possible across the entire cover. Now we don't want it in big globs, we just want little touches of sparkle here and there. So I'm just going to take a bit of that and just kind of rub that in. I'm just going to take some circular motions and try to create an even coat. That should be very festive. So just little circular motions. There we go. And I'll probably give this a good 10-15 minutes to dry before moving on to the back cover. Just a little bit more over here. Want to make sure we've got good even covering and plenty of sparkle to go around. Okay. Okay. I think that is good. Now we'll just let this dry. Let's take a look now that that sparkle paste has dried, and that is magical. I love the little bit of glitter dusting on here. That is making me really happy. Okay, now let's go ahead and decorate the back. So I'm going to be pulling out more pieces from Idea-ology, and let's just kind of work on how this might look. Oh, I like that piece a lot right there. There are just so many options, and I do love making a collage. So we need to find the right pieces to go with everything. Okay, not bad. What else have we got? Oh, want to use these later inside the book. That's kind of nice. But is there something smaller that would work? Oh, I like that. Let's see here. If I moved that up here, could put that like that. It's not bad. Oh, and then we could put this here, and then I just need something to go along there. Okay. This is pretty good. Oh, I like these. That could finish off along the bottom. And I just want one more thing. But the question is what? There we go. That works. Okay. So I am quite happy with our little collage. I think we've got everything that we're going to need. Now it's just time to glue it all down. And I just need to carefully put away these extra pieces before I end up with a mess on the floor. That's one of the biggest issues I have during Christmas and Halloween. I use so much Idea-ology, it tends to end up everywhere. And then I find little bits and pieces well into the spring. So I'm trying to keep everything contained this year using one of the tins. I'm hoping it's going to work, and I'm looking forward to seeing this stash slowly become a little bit less, because that will mean I have used lots and lots of pieces. Okay, there we go. Now, let's glue this all down. So these three pieces here are the main foundational pieces, so let's get those glued first. So just collage medium, I'm going to just scribble on the back. There we go. Can put that right there. Then we'll take this one. Getting those base pieces down first is so important, because it really sets the tone for the rest of the collage. And I always do my big pieces first, then I do medium, and then I do little fillers. Okay, good. Now this one. I love this. It's just like a puzzle, trying to fit everything in. Now, that's one of the things that I really love about Idea-ology. Okay, I've got that. Now I want the word holiday. Okay. And I definitely want this. Ooh, and I can tuck that under there. Okay. I'm going to lift this little piece up for a moment. Tuck those tickets in. Then place that back. All right. And we have got our collage for the back of the album. Now, the last thing I want to do, of course, will be to add a little dash of the sparkle so that our album covers are matching. And again, we'll just pop that open, grab a generous dollop of the sparkle paste, and rub that on, just using little circular motions, because we don't want this globby. We want everything to be even. Okay. This is going to be good. I love the idea of having the outside being super sparkly. And this paste is so fun to use. Really, I don't think about using it outside of Christmas, and I really should. A little bit of added sparkle could work wonders for many different projects. Like, I'm definitely thinking Easter would be a good time to use this as well. Like maybe on some flowers. There we go. And don't forget, you can actually custom color this as well using a small drop of re-inker. So lots of things that we could do with this. Okay, I'd say that's good. Let's go ahead, let this dry, and then we'll come back to take a look at the completed album base. And here is the back. It is all nice and dry. Let's just do a quick flip through and see what we have to work with. So our cover, we've got a collage going on here, got plenty of sparkle on here, and this is the Grungeboard album. And then when we go to the inside, every page is covered with some of the Tim Holtz Idea-ology backdrops, and this is a combination of this year's stash and last year's. I love that contrast, the really dark paper, not traditionally what you'd see at Christmas time, but I think it's going to be great to create on. And of course, we have some Christmas music over here. Turning the page, we've got some holly and some beautiful stripes. I love the pastel of this. And then over here, we have the holiday paint swatches. These are absolutely awesome. I love the colors on here, and it went so perfectly with this beautiful house motif. Couldn't pass it up. Moving on, we've got something more rustic going on here. We've got some chippy boards, and then we've got a beautiful worn plaid. And then on the next page, we've got some minty snowflakes, and we have another holiday palette. I love all the reds. Then we have our candy stripes and our candy. This is one of my favorites. I love the candy pieces, and that to me is really, really holiday-ish. And then the last set, we have another beautifully worn plaid and some festive poinsettias. Closing up the book, we already embellished the back, and we've got more collage going on here with a dash of sparkle. So this is all ready for some holiday magic crafting fun. Thank you so much for joining me here today at the Crafty Corner as we've been putting together this Grungeboard album. And until next time, happy crafting!